For almost an entire season, he had escaped everything. The pressure, the doubters, the big moments, the teams that were supposed to be better, the defenses that were supposed to be faster. Every time college football thought it had found the game where the freshman would finally look like a freshman, he found a way out. But in the national championship against the #1 defense in the country, there was no more running from the moment. One throw, one hit, one mistake. His first interception of the entire season came with a national championship on the line. And after everything Florida A&M had built, after the Heisman, after the playoff run, after every impossible highlight, the season was suddenly hanging by one play. But to understand how a freshman quarterback even ended up in this position, we have to go all the way back to the decision that nobody saw coming. He was not built like a normal freshman quarterback, 6 feet tall, 210 pounds, left-handed. A dual threat with the speed to take a broken play 80 yards and the arm strength to make defenses pay if they overreacted. The player comparison was obvious, not because anybody was saying he was Mike Vick already, but because the style was impossible to ignore. A left-handed quarterback who could turn the pocket into a track meet and turn a scramble into the most dangerous play on the field. He was the #1 quarterback in the country, a 5-star recruit, and schools from every part of college football wanted him. But the first major decision of his career was not about chasing the biggest logo, it was about chasing the biggest possible legacy. Florida A&M, not the easy choice, not the safe choice, not the school most people expected a 5-star quarterback to choose. Most 5-stars go where the spotlight already exists. He chose a place where he would have to create it, and that sounded good in theory. But the second he stepped on campus, the story got complicated.
I respect the decision, but I don't understand it. If you're already being looked at as an NFL player, why make the road harder?
Because if he wins there, it means more. But that's the risk. If he struggles, people are going to say he should have gone somewhere with more talent around him.
And that's exactly my point. This is a great story until the football starts.
Before he had even played a college snap, NFL scouts were already watching. Somehow he was already being projected as an early second-round pick. Then, before the first game was even played, that projection moved again. Late first round, the hype was getting bigger, the expectations were getting heavier, and then Florida A&M released the depth chart, QB2. The most hyped freshman in the country was not starting. Week 1 was supposed to be the beginning of a new era. Instead, it looked like a reminder. Florida A&M opened the season at home against Sam Houston, and the freshmen spent the game watching from the sideline. No dramatic debut, no instant takeover, no Heisman moment. Just a 13-10 win that felt more like survival than a statement. A win is a win, but this was not the kind of game that made the country believe. And for the first time, there was a real question. Had Florida A&M just landed the most talented quarterback in the country, or had they landed a player who was not ready yet? That shot came the very next week. The bye week was not a week off, it was a trial, a position battle, 3 drills, 1 job, and it did not start the way it was supposed to. He lost the first drill. For a player who had been called the #1 quarterback in America, that mattered, because hype does not win a depth chart. Stars do not win a locker room, and if he lost this battle, the whole season could have become one long wait. Then he answered. And then he answered again. 2 drills later, Florida A&M had a new starting quarterback. But winning a practice battle is one thing. Starting a college game is different, and Rutgers was coming to town. Rutgers was not supposed to be a coronation, it was supposed to be a first look, a real one. Could the freshman process the field? Could he protect the ball? Could he take hits? Could he lead an offense that looked completely ordinary without him? Nobody knew yet. Not the fans, not the media, not even Florida A&M.
Caught by Smith. Second down, he'll throw it. Caught.
Early in the game, you could feel the offense searching for its identity. A few throws, a few reads, a few moments where it still looked like a freshman trying to figure out the speed of college football, and then one play changed the entire tone.
Trying to make magic with his feet. Finds a crease at the 20. Sprints into the end zone for a touchdown.
That was not a normal first touchdown. That was the kind of play that makes a coaching staff rethink the entire playbook. Because when your quarterback can do that, every defensive call becomes a gamble. And once the first big play happened, Rutgers never really recovered. The throws started coming easier, the reads got cleaner, the pocket started feeling less like pressure and more like space. By the end of the game, the question was no longer whether Florida A&M had made the move too early. The question was how they waited this long. 5 total touchdowns, 428 passing yards, 94 rushing yards, 1 incompletion. 1 start was all it took for the story to change. But one game can lie. The next week would show if this was real. After Rutgers, there were 2 ways this could go. Either defenses adjust, the freshman comes back down to earth, and Rutgers becomes a fun one-week story. Or the rest of the country starts realizing that Florida A&M might have something they are not prepared for. FAU got the next chance to find out. The scary part was not that he played well, it was how fast the game lost structure. FAU could not sit back because he could throw over them, they could not bring pressure because one missed lane became a touchdown. They could not spy him without giving up numbers and coverage. Everything had a cost, and Florida A&M made them pay for all of it. 90 points, 694 passing yards, 10 total touchdowns. At that point, it stopped feeling like a hot start. It started feeling like a problem. But that word mattered, sustainable, because the numbers were getting ridiculous, but the schedule was about to become part of the conversation. The next few weeks became a blur. An FCS opponent could not slow him down. Louisiana Tech could not slow him down. Every week, the highlights got louder. Every week, the award screen started feeling less surprising, and eventually the Heisman race had no choice but to notice. Number 2 on the Heisman watch, a freshman at Florida A&M, and for a moment, it looked like the country was ready to accept what was happening. But then came the pushback.
The numbers are crazy. Nobody's denying that. But I need context. Who have they played?
I mean, you can only play who's on the schedule.
I get that, but Heisman is not just about highlights. I need to see it when the opponent can actually punch back.
Then circle the Alabama State game. If he does it there, the conversation changes.
Before Florida A&M could get there, they still had to avoid the kind of game that ruins a season before the big one ever arrives. Louisiana came in 4-1, and for the first time since Rutgers, the game had enough resistance to make things interesting. By halftime, Florida A&M had control, but control is not the same thing as comfort. Louisiana kept hanging around. The defense kept giving up enough to keep the starters on the field, and the freshmen had to keep answering. .300 passing yards, 166 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns. It was not perfect, but it did not need to be. The win pushed him to number 1 in the Heisman watch. And that is when the season started to feel dangerous. Not because Florida A&M was struggling, because now there was something to lose. The next stretch did not quiet the criticism. Florida A&M kept winning, but the schedule gave the doubters more ammunition. Southern missed Troy, Arkansas State, Georgia Southern. Wins kept stacking up, but so did the same question. Was Florida A&M truly a playoff team, or just a great story beating teams they were supposed to beat? By the final week of the regular season, there was nowhere left to hide. Florida A&M was 11-0. Alabama State was 11-0. A rivalry game, a conference title race, a possible playoff spot, 2 undefeated teams, and more pressure than either program had faced all year. Both offenses were top 10, both defenses were top 10. And Alabama State was not just some underdog rivalry team. They had spent the 6th most NIL money in the country, behind only Oregon, Ohio State, Georgia, Miami, and Indiana. So this was not just Florida A&M trying to protect an undefeated season. This was the first time all year where losing would give everybody permission to say they were right.
And it'll come out to the 25, no attempt at a return. When you get to this point in the season, Jesse, and you're in the Heisman Trophy race like this guy is, every decision, every play, every move will be magnified today.
People watching, he has stepped up and he's played his best football.
The first drive did not look clean. The pocket broke down. The play almost died. And for a second, it looked like Alabama State's defense had the speed to turn the night into a problem. But even when the play broke, he found a way to keep it alive. And then the running back finished the drive. 7-0, a perfect start. But Alabama State did not come in undefeated by accident. They answered immediately, 7-7, and suddenly this felt different. This was not Rutgers, this was not FAU, this was not a team waiting to fold, this was a team that could punch back. So on the first play of the next drive, the freshmen stopped playing the waiting game.
They'll start this drive with a pass. Escapes the sack. Oh, he's got some space. He's at the 30. Inside the 10.
That was not a design run, that was not a perfect play call, that was a quarterback looking at a defense, seeing one crease and turning it into 7 points. But Alabama State answered again, 14-14. Every time Florida A&M tried to take control, Alabama State pulled the game right back. And that is when the freshmen had to show something different, not just highlights, patience. The next drive was not about one crazy play, it was about control. Run when they widened, throw when they stepped up, take the easy yards, stay ahead of the chain. Florida A&M went back in front, but before halftime, there was a chance to do more than lead. Speed option, the freshmen gave them the play that separated good players from players you remember. At halftime, it looked like Florida A&M had finally created distance. But rivalry games do not end at halftime. Alabama State came out of the locker room and cut it to 7. And right there, the game could have turned. One bad drive, one sack, one turnover, 1 3 and out. That was all it would have taken for every doubt to come back at once.
To the air on first down. Got rid of it. Back to pass. Moves away as he feels pressure. The short hands, it's Wilman.
Best top 10 in the nation, total touchdowns scored, and that's why he's in the discussion for the Heisman Trophy.
Looking to throw on first down. Rushes on him. Breaks loose. He's like a pinball on the option. Sweet cut there.
He's at first down. New set of downs. Nice execution of the option by this offense.
Fired.
Instead, Florida A&M answered with its most mature drive of the season. Not frantic, not desperate, just controlled. A long drive, a rushing touchdown, a 2-score lead heading into the 4th, then the read option ended it. Stat line was not the biggest of the season, but the moment was. Florida A&M beat an undefeated top 10 rival, protected the perfect regular season, and moved from number 14 to number 10. Alabama State dropped to number 13, right outside the playoff. And for the first time, the playoff was not just a dream. It was right there. One game separated Florida A&M from a conference championship. But this was the kind of game that can ruin a perfect story. A week after the biggest win of the year, emotions were high, expectations were higher, and if Florida A&M slipped, the committee would not need a second excuse. JMU did not need to dominate. They just needed to make it ugly. Early on, they did exactly that. The front was tough, the running lanes were not free, and on 4th and 1, Florida A&M faced one of those decisions that either builds belief or creates regret. And after that, the game started moving in only one direction. The second drive brought another rushing touchdown. Then came a throw under pressure. Suddenly, the pressure that was supposed to test Florida A&M started crushing JMU instead. By halftime, it was 28-3. After halftime, it got worse. Read option, speed option. Another touchdown, and Florida A&M was just trying to run out the clock. 6 touchdowns, 276 rushing yards, 222 passing yards, a conference championship, and now the freshman who started the year as QB2 was standing in front of the entire country as the Heisman frontrunner.
Greetings and welcome to a very special moment on the annual sports calendar, the Heisman Trophy ceremony presented by EA Sports. Inside the Tiburon Theater, I'm Chris Fowler. So proud to bring you Heisman Trophy night every year. So many memories come out of this night. Each of these guys have hung out together, got to know each other better, but ultimately, the night's going to belong to one guy. One name will be read here, and one man will have that life-changing moment and forever be known as a Heisman Trophy winner. These are nervous times for these guys. The announcement just moments away. They've gotten to New York City, not by focusing on it, but once you're here, man, they want to win it. And every past winner has told me this is really a nervous time for them. They're this close to the trophy, but will they get a chance to lift it?
The Heisman is supposed to be a career achievement for the best player in college football. For most freshmen, just being invited would be enough. But this season has stopped being normal a long time ago. There were other stars, other quarterbacks, other programs with bigger brands and stronger histories. And there was still one argument against him. Could a player from Florida A&M really be the face of college football?
Is awarded to freshman quarterback.
The freshman won the Heisman. But trophies do not finish stories, they raise the stakes. The first playoff game brought Boise State, top 5 offense, top 5 defense, Heisman finalist Nico Iamaleava at quarterback. This was not a regular season debate anymore, no week schedule arguments, no committee hypotheticals, no wait until they play somebody. This was the playoff, lose here, and the whole season becomes a great story that ended too soon. And before the game even started, the weirdest moment of the season happened. Apparently, the freshman was so dangerous that he showed up in Boise State's entrance too. We are going to call that psychological warfare.
As a quarterback, you've got to understand that the ball needs to leave your hand on time, and as a wide receiver, you've got to create the correct picture. Because you have to understand, anytime that ball is tipped, or if you overthrow it as a quarterback, it's going the other. Breaks free down the right side.
First play from scrimmage, he reminded everybody which team he actually played for.
To do so, it will be a long day.
And it looks like the quarterback's going to run it. Gets the first and still running. He's got space. Break.
Then on 3rd and 7, Florida A&M put the ball in his hands and asked him to solve it, 7-0. But Boise State's defense was different. The back end was tight, the windows were smaller, and for the first time, not every big play was coming easy.
In motion now. Play fake, looking to throw. On the move now. Gonna try to use his legs here. Oh, what a spin! From the shotgun, drops back. Running out of time in the pocket. Looks like he's gonna run it. Oh, he's got open space.
Just a terrific job by the quarterback. I've always said, Chris, and it's even more important here.
So Florida A&M adjusted. If the coverage was tight downfield, he used his legs. If the linebacker stepped up, he used the RPO. And somehow, against one of the best defenses in the country, the Rattlers built a 14-0 lead. But the playoff never lets you get comfortable. Boise State answered.
Play action here on first down. Coming after him.
Oh, they sacked him. He gets gets to the quarterback so quick, he's got nothing to do but protect the football, and thankfully,
He's got a crease. He's got the QB breaking away.
Florida A&M hit back.
Here he goes.
Then Boise State answered again. And when Florida A&M had a chance to double up before halftime, Boise State forced a 3-and-out. That was the warning. This game was not going away.
There's the snap. Offense looking to throw the ball. He escapes the pocket, using his legs on the scramble. Picks it up himself and still going. On 1st and 10 here, looking to throw the ball. And he slings it deep back to the left side. And it's hauled in. But 3rd and very long. Looking to throw. Looking for the wide out. Grab down the middle. It's
The second half started with a few completions, but not a knockout punch. Florida A&M settled for 3, 24-14, a lead, but not safety.
first down. Looking to throw the football. Looking to scramble. Breaks free. On the run, he'll let it go. He's got his man wide open. Tackle. Looking for a receiver. Throws to the tight end. Makes the catch downfield. They make the tackle a quarter. QB decides to keep it here. Got an opening here. Putting toward the end zone.
Then came the play that looked like it would finally end it.
1st and goal. Toss it to the back.
31-14, but Boise State made one last push, and suddenly the playoff opener became something Florida A&M had not had to do often. It was not clean, it was not comfortable. But in the playoff, pretty does not matter. Florida A&M was moving on, and waiting in the Sugar Bowl was the kind of opponent people had been demanding all season. LSU was not just another playoff team. They were number 2 in the country, led by Heisman runner-up Sam Levitt. This was the game every critic had been waiting for. An SEC opponent, a national stage, a quarterback duel, a defense with enough athletes to make speed look normal. If Florida A&M was going to be exposed, this was where it would happen.
Back to pass. It's Levitt. Caught over the middle. It's Moore. 2nd and 3. Now they call a run. It's hard running there for a tackle. Great throw caught on the left side. Here on 2nd down. And the quarterback dropping back. Take a deep shot. That deep shot is
And LSU landed the first punch, 7-0. Florida A&M started well, but the drive stalled. For the first time in the playoff, the freshmen had to chase.
First play of the drive, they'll come out throwing.
this play caller needs to start putting the ball in his hands.
The answer came through the running back first, then the read option. Tie game. The first half became a fight. LSU answered. Florida A&M punched back. LSU took the lead again, 17-14, and with only 50 seconds left before halftime, most teams would protect themselves, take the safe yards, avoid the mistake, get to the locker room. LSU brought pressure. The freshmen brought panic. 1 blitz, 1 crease, 1 explosion. Florida A&M went into halftime up 21-17, and because they got the ball after halftime, the next drive had a chance to change the entire game.
First play of the drive, looking to throw the football. Caught over the middle. It's Davis.
Sensation.
Off the play fake on 1st down.
Destroy the blocks and throw him. Get into the backfield and get to the quarterback. Big fella doing work.
Quarterback looking to scramble.
This guy that can pick up 2 to 4 first downs with his legs. Sometimes it's not always going to be a quarterback run design.
He's got a crease. Off the play fake, looking to throw on 1st down. Fires it to the wall. Grabbed down. It's Moore. Quarterback still with the football.
They did not waste it. A mix of run and pass moved the ball downfield, and the read option made it 28-17. For a moment, LSU looked uncomfortable, but teams like LSU do not disappear. Florida A&M added a field goal. LSU answered with a touchdown, 31-24. Now the game was down to one drive, not to score, to breathe. First play, they lost 3 yards. The stadium felt different. LSU felt alive. And suddenly, the Heisman winner was facing the kind of moment where one bad decision could give the ball back to a team that was starting to believe. Second play, Florida A&M put it back in his hands.
He knows that they love that little touch pass, and he's in the backfield for a stop. Physical and aggressive at the tackle point.
They needed a first down. He gave them 78 yards, a spin in the middle of traffic, a race to the end zone, a touchdown that finally gave Florida A&M enough room to survive the Sugar Bowl. LSU still scored late. They still made it 38-31, but with 25 seconds left, Florida A&M only needed one snap to finish it. The weak schedule conversation was over. That was not a cute HBCU story. That was a superstar beating one of the best teams in the country on one of the biggest stages in the sport. And now, Florida A&M was one win away from the national championship. The Orange Bowl brought Indiana, number 11 in the country, with a chance to end the most unlikely run in college football. And that is what made this game dangerous. Not because Indiana had the biggest name, because after beating LSU, it would have been easy to exhale, easy to look ahead, easy to assume destiny was already written. But destiny still needed 4 quarters. Florida A&M's defense set the tone first. Then the offense did its job.
This running back, stopping this run game. This whole line has been dominant this year, and then clearly the quarterback is feeling that.
The quarterback keeps it here. First down and more. He's still up. Out of the gun now on third down. Grab down to the Davis. Tackle. The quarterback keeps it on the option.
Touchdown, but Indiana's defensive line started getting after him.
Here to start the drive. He stays alive. On the run here. Let's go.
It's a great catch down the field, great ball placement. Even better though, it is
Wants to throw it. Bringing pressure.
The pocket was not clean, the throws were not free, and after Indiana got on the board, Florida A&M could only answer with a field goal. 10-3, a lead, but not control. Then, before halftime, the freshman found another crease.
job understanding the situation and maintaining the momentum of the drive.
Look out, he's got space ahead. Continues to break it in. Look at that powerful running. Quarterback in the clear. Here he goes.
17-3, and then the defense gave him one more chance. A turnover before half, short field, one shot to create real separation. The throw went to the tight end on the deep corner route. Touchdown, 24-3 at halftime. The door to the national championship was open, but Indiana got one last chance to make Florida A&M nervous. Florida A&M started the second half with the ball and did nothing with it. Indiana answered with a touchdown, and suddenly the game was not over. Going into the fourth, Florida A&M was in scoring range. 3rd and 6, one conversion could drain the energy out of the comeback. One mistake could give Indiana life. He chose the first option, 31-10. Indiana scored again, but by then, the game was already slipping away. Florida A&M could have just run the clock. Instead, they took one more deep shot, touchdown. Florida A&M was going to the national championship. The freshman who started the season on the bench was now one game away from doing something that sounded impossible 3 months earlier. But the last opponent was not a storybook side character. It was the #1 defense in college football, and they had a Heisman finalist of their own. The national championship was different. All year, Florida A&M had been able to make teams choose. Defend the pass, and he ran. Defend the run, and he threw. Play safe, and he slowly picked you apart. Get aggressive, and he turned one mistake into a touchdown. But this defense was #1 for a reason. They had speed, they had pressure, they had discipline, and on the other side, a Heisman finalist capable of matching points. For the first time all year, the question was not whether Florida A&M could score. The question was, what would happen if they finally got stopped?
This is what they have wanted, and now's their chance. Go out and execute and win a championship.
Stand back.
The first drive looked like a statement. He moved the pocket, extended plays, found the open man, and then, outside of structure, delivered the first touchdown of the night. 7-0. The start was perfect, but perfect starts do not win national championships. They tied it. Florida A&M marched back down the field, but for once, the drive did not end in 7. It ended in 3, 10-7. Then the game started to tilt. Somehow, when Florida A&M got the ball back, they were down 21-10, not 7, not 3, 11. And for the first time in the biggest game of the season, the freshman had to play from a place he had rarely been all year, behind.
Makes the touchdown for the Rutgers team. Looking for his big tight end. He's back to throw again after they didn't finish on first down. Oh, they can't bring it. They escaped one. Drop him back. They're going to throw for the first down. Looking for the wideout.
The first answer was not an answer at all. They got stopped. And right there, it felt like the story was starting to turn. The defense gave them another chance.
First down, looking to throw the ball. The pressure's on. They're going to scramble now. Ah, here he goes. Tackle made after him. Back looking to throw it on second down. Grab down the middle. It's Smith. Third and goal. Looking to throw for it.
And with 57 seconds left in the half, Florida A&M finally found the end zone again, 21-17, close enough to breathe. Then the defense held before halftime and held again after halftime. That opened the door.
As he throws, that's what leads to the incompletion.
Running catch.
When you're one-on-ones, look at these guys, these defensive linemen. They are winning, they're getting into the backfield, and there's nowhere to go for this group.
Design quarterback run.
The freshman dotted them down the field, then finished it himself on a design quarterback run. 24-21, another stop, another drive. And this time, it almost looked easy.
Looking for his big tight end.
This is just insane. Laying out to catch the ball? Why?
He's got a crease.
The read option made it 31-21, 10-point lead, fourth quarter, national championship. For a moment, it looked like Florida A&M had finally broken the #1 defense in college football. They scored 31-28, 4 minutes left. The game was right back on the edge.
On first and 10 here, looking to throw the ball. Moves out of the pocket. Out to the first, but still going.
Florida A&M started moving again. A few yards here, a first down there, the kind of drive that could end the game if they finished it.
Pressure is coming. They'll avoid the
And then the freshman saw a chance. Deep shot, end zone, one throw to put the national championship away. But the hit came as he released it, and the ball did not land in orange and green. After an entire season of clean football, his first interception came in the worst possible moment. Not against Rutgers, not against FAU, not in a blowout in the national championship. With the game on the line, they turned it into 7. Now Florida A&M trailed 35-31 with 1 minute and 50 seconds left. The Heisman did not matter anymore. The records did not matter. The awards did not matter. The whole season had been reduced to one drive. First play of the drive, the defense showed man coverage. For most quarterbacks, that means find the matchup. For him, it meant find the grass.
first down. Looking to throw the football. The pass rush closing in. Makes the first on his own. Legs still churning. Tremendous toughness here. QB breaking away. The 10.
For a second, it looked like he might slide. For a second, it looked like he might just take the safe yards. Then the crease opened. And after the interception, after the mistake, after the whole season almost flipped, he gave Florida A&M the lead back on one of the wildest runs of the year. 38-35. It looked like redemption. But football does not let you celebrate early.
Quarterback, step up and make a winning play. On the move now. Quarterback gets behind it. Quick throw over the middle. Finds a man down to throw. It's Washington. And it's caught across the middle. He's in the clear. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Oklahoma.
Just like that, Florida A&M was behind again, 42-38, 1 minute left. No room for a field goal, no room for a mistake, no room for almost. This was the moment every quarterback either dreams about or spends the rest of his life replaying. 1 minute, national championship, ball in your hands, win, and the story becomes legendary.
And the first play of the drive now from the 25. Looking to throw it on first down. He escapes the pocket. Scrambling, now he'll make the throw. Nice ball, and he gets set. This quarterback has had a special season stepping
stepping up when his team needs it most. That's why he won the Heisman. Now, Joel, it's a legacy-defining moment for this quarterback.
The first few plays were not about style, they were about survival. Use the legs, get out of bounds, take what the defense gives you. Keep the clock from becoming the opponent. Every yard mattered, every second mattered, and with the defense backing up to protect the end zone, the freshman kept attacking the space in front of him.
Timing, it's about accuracy of all those three together.
No fear.
This was not the player from week 1 watching from the sideline. This was not the freshman trying to win a position battle. This was the Heisman winner, the face of Florida A&M, dragging an entire season down the field one play at a time.
Could need to scramble. They could not contain the quarterback. In the red zone, Joel, when you have a guy who can say
Athleticism, taking it all the way in for a touchdown. What a weapon.
11 seconds. That was the difference. 11 seconds between legend and heartbreak, 11 seconds between almost and forever. And when the final seconds disappeared, the impossible was not impossible anymore. Florida A&M had won the national championship. A freshman quarterback had taken an HBCU from overlooked to undeniable, and he did it in one of the greatest national championship games ever played. He finished the national championship with 6 touchdowns, 271 rushing yards, and 254 passing yards. But the numbers only tell part of it. The real story is where it started. He came to Florida A&M as the #1 quarterback in the country, but he still had to earn the job. He started the season as QB2. He watched week 1 from the sideline. He had to win a position battle just to get on the field. Then he became the Heisman favorite. Then he won the conference. And in the national championship, after his first interception of the season almost ruined everything, he led the drive that changed his career forever. Freshman year was not supposed to look like this. It was supposed to be the beginning. A year to grow into the offense, build trust, and maybe become the face of the program later. Instead, it became one of the greatest freshman seasons college football has ever seen. But success creates a different kind of pressure, because once you prove you can win anywhere, everybody wants to know where you will go next. Florida A&M gave him the platform. He gave Florida A&M a national championship. The goal had been accomplished, and now every powerhouse in the country wanted the same thing, a chance to put the Heisman winner in their uniform. Stay at Florida A&M and become the most loyal superstar in college football, enter the portal and chase a new kind of legacy, bigger stadiums, bigger pressure, bigger expectations, and maybe the one school he always dreamed of playing for. Freshman year was about proving he belonged, sophomore year would be about deciding what all of this was really for, and that decision could change everything.